This thrilling story begins by showing a public area where many people are sitting and talking. In fact, it's a place where people from different regions gather, people who are deeply troubled by their lives and are facing problems in their relationships. They all share their experiences here so that everyone can come together and try to find a solution. This helps lonely people and allows them to manage their relationships better. One by one, everyone starts talking about themselves. Now we see a boy named Renfield at that place, who is observing everyone in a very strange way. We are then told a bit about Renfield's past, how he used to be a lawyer. Some years ago, he went to the palace of a very wealthy man to work on a property deal. If Renfield could complete this deal, he would earn a huge profit. But he had no idea that the man whose palace he was going to was actually a Dracula. Draculas are immortal beings who survive by drinking human blood. After fixing the deal with Dracula, Renfield gained a lot of benefits. Eventually, the two became very good friends. Because of all this, Dracula gave a portion of his powers to Renfield, making him immortal. He could no longer die and had been turned into an immortal human. In a way, Dracula made Renfield his assistant by giving him his powers. Whatever Dracula said, Renfield had to do. He even took care of all Dracula's needs. Just like Dracula gained power by drinking human blood, Renfield gained strength by eating insects and bugs, and he kept consuming them regularly. One day, suddenly, some exorcists are shown entering Dracula's palace. They had come to capture him because he was dangerous to humans. These exorcists were well equipped and almost succeeded in capturing Dracula. One of them even created a powerful circle to trap him, making it impossible for Dracula to escape. At that moment, Dracula pleads with Renfield to save him. The exorcists also try to explain to Renfield that if Dracula is released, he will continue drinking human blood. But Dracula tries to convince Renfield by saying that if they take him away, next time they'll come for Renfield too, because he is now like Dracula. After hearing all this, Renfield becomes very confused. And now, to help Dracula, Renfield breaks the circle. Suddenly, Dracula is free, and using his powers, he dives straight into the mouth of one of the exorcists, destroying his entire body. That exorcist dies right there. However, one exorcist still remains. He pulls away the curtain, and as soon as the curtain is lifted, sunlight floods into the room and falls directly on Dracula. As expected, Dracula cannot tolerate sunlight at all, his entire body begins to burn. But Renfield, his assistant, is still present. He quickly uses a cloth to extinguish the flames on Dracula's body. Unfortunately, Dracula is already in a terrible condition, more than half his body has been burned. But because he is immortal, he cannot die this way. Dracula starts begging Renfield to help him, to feed him human blood. The more blood he drinks, the more his powers will return, and he will be able to regenerate his body. That's the reason Renfield begins taking Dracula to various places. He sacrifices many people and gives their blood to Dracula. In this way, several years pass, and Renfield continues trying to heal Dracula. Now, we are brought back to the present, where people are sitting and talking in the public discussion group. The moderator of that group asks Renfield to share his story and tell everyone about himself. But for some reason, Renfield doesn't respond. Perhaps he doesn't want to reveal the secrets of his past in front of everyone. At this point, Renfield notices a girl named Catherine at the gathering. Catherine is deeply troubled in her life. In fact, her boyfriend, Mitch, used to torture her a lot. Because of all this, Catherine was unable to live her life properly. When Renfield finds out about all this, he goes directly to Mitch, because Renfield only killed evil people and gave their blood to Dracula. He never harmed good people, because deep down, Renfield himself is a good man. Catherine's boyfriend, Mitch, was involved with drug dealers and used to do a lot of illegal work. He had even committed several murders in his life. That's why Renfield goes straight to Mitch, who is seen there with two of his men. Renfield used his powers to kill both of Mitch's men. Then, he started seriously injuring Mitch as well. Compared to Renfield, none of these people were a real threat. But suddenly, an unknown man appeared. He was huge in size, and his head was covered with a mask. He was extremely angry. He first slammed Mitch to the ground and then struck Renfield, sending him flying across the area. Renfield was now badly injured, so to regain energy, he took out a small insect and ate it. This immediately recharged his powers. He went straight for the masked man and attacked his head. The man's head was severed and went flying, landing on top of a car. Inside that car was a drug dealer named Teddy, who happened to be the son of the city's main politician. It turns out the masked man was one of Teddy's men. Seeing his man dead in such a brutal way, Teddy immediately fled the scene. Meanwhile, Renfield continued killing bad people like this and feeding their blood to Dracula, so Dracula's powers would grow and he could return to his original, powerful form. Now, we are shown two police officers, Rebecca and Chris, on a highway. Suddenly, Teddy speeds past them in his car. Rebecca sees him and quickly realizes he must be a criminal. She tries to stop him and begins the chase. Teddy, who was carrying several packets of drugs, throws one at Chris's face. As soon as the packet hits him, Chris realizes this man is carrying drugs. Rebecca and Chris quickly arrest Teddy and take him to jail on drug dealing charges. Back at Dracula's hideout, Renfield brings Mitch's dead body to Dracula, hoping he would drink the blood and regain strength. But when Dracula, who is still in terrible condition, tastes Mitch's blood, he doesn't like it at all. Dracula explains that the more evil a person is, the worse their blood tastes and the less useful it is. He gets angry at Renfield and says he should be bringing the blood of good people, like nurses or lab workers. Dracula says, "I have the right to live my life, but all you think about is yourself." Furious, Dracula uses his sharp claws to attack Renfield's stomach, injuring him badly. But then Dracula realizes that Renfield is the only one truly helping him right now. So he draws blood from Mitch's body and uses it to heal Renfield's wound. Dracula then says coldly, "You are my assistant. And whatever I say, you must do it." Renfield was completely helpless at this point. Meanwhile, we're shown Teddy, who is now in jail, demanding to speak to his lawyer, refusing to say anything without legal representation. Rebecca and Chris were present at the station. It's revealed that Teddy was actually the one who had murdered Rebecca's father. Since then, she had been trying to bring him to justice, but had never succeeded, because Teddy came from a very wealthy and influential family. No matter what crime he committed, he would always get released quickly. And this time was no different. Teddy's lawyer arrived, paid a large sum of money, and got him released again. Teddy, carefree and arrogant, was thrilled, but Rebecca couldn't understand how he had been let go yet again. Rebecca also had a sister named Kate. Both sisters knew that Teddy was the one who had killed their father, and they were determined to make him pay. Kate tries to calm Rebecca down, saying, "We will get him punished, but this isn't the right moment. We need to wait for the right time." So, they both started planning together. Now, we see Teddy arriving at his luxurious mansion. There, his mother, Bella, was waiting. Bella began to explain everything to Teddy, saying their family had made many sacrifices to build this grand empire. But Teddy's reckless behavior made her doubt whether he was capable of taking control of the family's legacy. Bella warned him that the way he had been getting involved in petty drug dealings was ruining their family's image. So, she gave him very clear instructions. He would have to handle all his issues on his own now. In a way, Bella was giving him a free pass to do whatever he wanted, as long as he didn't drag the family's name into his scandals. With this green light from his mother, Teddy left the house. Now we cut back to Rebecca and Chris, the same two police officers, who continued their investigation. They reached the place where Renfield had killed Mitch and his men. At the crime scene, they found a pen covered in blood. On the pen, there was the name of a cafe written on it. So, Rebecca and Chris headed to the cafe. Shockingly, Renfield was sitting inside that very cafe. Dracula had told him he preferred the blood of doctors and spiritual readers. Coincidentally, both doctors and clairvoyants were present at the cafe that day. So Renfield was planning to capture them and take them to Dracula. But just then, Rebecca and Chris walked in. Seeing them, Renfield quickly changed his plan and slipped away toward the back exit. Although Renfield was trying to escape from the other side, at the next moment, Teddy and all his men arrived, armed with guns, and started firing at everyone. All the people in the cafe began running in every direction to save their lives. Now, Teddy and his gang corner Rebecca and Chris. Teddy starts misbehaving badly with Rebecca and even says that when he was killing her father was begging for his life. Teddy then tells Rebecca that all she has to do is say she works for him. Rebecca firmly refuses and says that even if it costs her life, she will never work for a criminal like him. Teddy gets furious and points a gun at Rebecca as if he's about to shoot. Renfield, who was watching all this, decides to save Rebecca's life. He eats a small insect to regain his powers and directly attacks Teddy and his gang. Renfield's powers had increased so much that no one could stand against him. He began killing Teddy's gang members one by one. Teddy, terrified, runs away immediately, and the remaining goons also flee the scene. Everyone starts thanking Renfield for saving their lives. Renfield approaches Rebecca and tells her that she is very brave, that she didn't even flinch in front of such a dangerous criminal, even when he had a gun pointed at her. Because of all this chaos, Renfield fails to bring a dead body to Dracula. Meanwhile, we see Dracula, who has already recovered. When Renfield meets him, Dracula starts sharing his plan. He says that now that he is healed, he will start converting everyone into vampires to create his own community, and slowly, he will rule over the entire Earth. Renfield doesn't agree with this plan because he is a vampire who doesn't want to harm people. He only wishes to live a peaceful life. Frustrated, Renfield goes to a support group of people who often gather and talk. Renfield shares his feelings, saying, "My master wants to take over the world, and his intentions are not good." Even though he is talking about Dracula, he doesn't directly reveal that his master is a vampire. Renfield keeps it general. After hearing this, the members of the group advise him that no matter how powerful evil may become, it can never defeat good. They tell him that whatever his master plans to do, the real question is, what are you doing about it? If you want to choose your path, you will have to walk away from him. Renfield begins applying all the suggestions given by the mentors. He even stops visiting Dracula. He rents a small apartment and starts living alone, trying to enjoy a peaceful life. Gradually, Renfield also begins changing his appearance, because earlier he always looked like Dracula's assistant. Because of all these changes, Renfield starts truly enjoying his life. Now, well-dressed and confident, Renfield goes to meet Rebecca, as he had started liking her. He even gifts her flowers, which makes Rebecca blush, a sign that perhaps she had started liking him too. Rebecca opens up to Renfield, telling him how she wants to bring Teddy to justice, and how long ago he brutally killed her father. After hearing all this, Renfield promises Rebecca that he will testify against Teddy in court, which makes Rebecca very happy. Meanwhile, we see Teddy's mother, Bella, who discovers through CCTV footage that it was Renfield who single-handedly killed so many people. So now she instructs her son Teddy to find this man named Renfield and finish him off completely. Teddy immediately sets out for a secret base. Rebecca, meanwhile, continues her investigation with her sister Kate. At the same time, we're shown Teddy and his gang, who arrive at the place where Dracula used to rest and regenerate during his recovery. As Teddy's men spread out looking for Renfield, Dracula senses their presence. He quickly uses his powers to start killing Teddy's men one by one, drinking their blood in the process. In this way, almost all of Teddy's men are slaughtered. When Dracula captures Teddy, Teddy starts asking him about Renfield. Where is this man? As soon as Dracula sees Renfield's photo, he says, "That's my assistant." But Teddy manipulates Dracula by telling him that Renfield has gone rogue, he's out there doing good deeds and helping people. Dracula becomes slightly angry upon hearing this, as it goes against his rules and code of conduct. To find out the truth, Dracula transforms into a bat and flies straight to where Renfield is. By now, most of Dracula's powers had recovered, so he could appear anywhere at will. When he finally sees Renfield in his new attire, he's shocked. Renfield's personality had completely changed. In the beginning, Renfield was quite scared upon seeing Dracula, but he managed to compose himself. He started making excuses, saying that he was about to come to Dracula and that he had kept many dead bodies to make him stronger. However, Dracula knew the truth and told him that he was doing wrong. All the powers Renfield had were given by Dracula, which is why he was Dracula's assistant, and should remain so. But then, Renfield picks up a book and starts telling Dracula a few things. He simply says that he has every right to live his life and wants freedom. Dracula got even angrier and took the book from Renfield, which had details about a church where public groups used to meet and find solutions for people's problems. Seeing the church, Dracula remembered something, so he vanished and went there. Renfield understood that Dracula must have gone to those people who used to have public talks, and he would kill them to drink their blood. Renfield quickly entered the church and told everyone there to leave immediately, as Dracula would kill them all. Though no one understood him, soon enough, Dracula arrived. Everyone realized that the boss Renfield was talking about was Dracula. Renfield begged Dracula to spare the good people, but Dracula, upon hearing that these people were very good, became even happier. He had been looking for such people. Despite Renfield's plea, Dracula killed all the good people and drank their blood, making his powers grow tremendously before vanishing. When the police arrived shortly after, Rebecca saw all the dead bodies around, and Renfield was sitting in the middle. Reluctantly, Rebecca arrested Renfield, thinking that he was responsible for all the deaths. As she was taking him outside, several police forces arrived, including Bella and her team. They told Rebecca to hand over Renfield to them, offering her money in exchange. The head of the police officers, who was also connected to Bella, told Rebecca that she would be promoted, but they needed to take Renfield. Rebecca understood that these people were planning something wrong with Renfield, so, after shooting all the officers, she put Renfield in a car and escaped with him. At Bella's command, everyone started firing, and one bullet hit Rebecca. After some time, when Rebecca opened her eyes, she found herself in Renfield's room. Initially, she was terrified and pointed a gun at him, but Renfield calmly explained everything to her. He told her how he worked for Dracula and was his assistant. Both of them had been on Earth for hundreds of years and were completely immortal. However, Rebecca didn't believe him as she needed proof. Meanwhile, Rebecca's sister, Kate, who was conducting her own investigation, had discovered some important information, which she started sharing with Rebecca. Now, Rebecca needed to meet her sister. So, she decided to leave with Renfield. Just then, a large team of police officers arrived at the scene. Because of this, Renfield asked Rebecca to find an insect for him, as eating it would give him powers. Somehow, Renfield ate the insect, after which he began brutally killing all the police officers around him. He was so powerful that he even tore off their hands. Seeing Renfield's powers, Rebecca was shocked. Slowly, she began to realize that maybe everything Renfield had said was true. The two of them managed to escape the police officers and flee. Next, we see Dracula, who was with Teddy. Dracula asked Teddy for help, wanting many people who could be affected and turned into his assistants, to work for him. Teddy agreed to work with Dracula. Meanwhile, Bella was shown with police officers, leaving because they didn't want to work with her anymore. In the next moment, Teddy brought Dracula with him, as they seemed to have decided to work together. Now, Renfield shared his life story with Rebecca, explaining how he had lost his entire family due to one mistake. Since Dracula made him his assistant, his personal life had lost all meaning. Renfield wanted to live his life his own way. After a short while, Rebecca suddenly receives a call from Bella, who tells her that her sister Kate is with her. Bella warns Rebecca that if she wants to see Kate unharmed, she needs to bring Renfield to her immediately. Renfield then calls for all the insects and, with Rebecca, heads directly to their hideout. On arriving, Renfield notices that Dracula has made Teddy his new assistant and has given him some of his powers. As they enter, Renfield is attacked by many people but kills them all before reaching Teddy. Meanwhile, Bella locks all the windows and doors, and soon Dracula appears behind Rebecca. Rebecca, panicked, asks where her sister Kate is, but Dracula has already injured Kate and left her there as a bait. He offers Rebecca a deal: if she wants Kate to be healed, she must work for him. On the other side, Renfield and Teddy engage in a fight. With the new powers Teddy has received, he overpowers Renfield, and Renfield gets badly injured. However, Renfield finds an insect, eats it, and quickly gains the strength to kill Teddy. Renfield then rushes to save Rebecca, but by this time, Dracula has started to control her. In the next moment, Rebecca presses a button that opens all the windows, and the sunlight begins to burn Dracula. In panic, Dracula transforms into a bat and escapes, injuring Renfield in the process. Renfield lies unconscious, while Dracula, now back in human form, closes all the windows again and moves towards Rebecca to kill her. But Rebecca, using her gun, shoots Dracula in the leg, causing his blood to spill into Renfield's mouth. This gives Renfield immense strength, and he begins attacking Dracula. Although Renfield breaks Dracula's teeth, they regenerate almost immediately. At that moment, Renfield recalls the true reality of what he was told earlier, realizing that he had to move forward. With all his might, Renfield attacks Dracula, determined to kill his master. Meanwhile, Rebecca uses a book nearby to cast a spell, creating a circular path around them. In the end, Dracula is trapped within the circle created by Rebecca's spell. Renfield doesn't stop attacking Dracula, relentlessly striking him in the face and tearing his body apart. They beat Dracula severely and washed his remains down the drain. Due to this, Dracula will not be able to regenerate anymore. Rebecca's sister Kate also returns, looking extremely happy. Rebecca now fully trusts Renfield, so she decides not to send him to jail. The story concludes with Renfield sitting in a public talk, sharing his experiences with those who had guided him. Rebecca joins him, and the adventurous story comes to an end.